So today I'm doing a video on Wayne's World and Bill and Ted.
Great show.
And basically why I think Wayne's World is trash and why Bill and Ted is like literally this close to being the best movie ever made. 1 and 2 are this close to being 2 of the best movies ever made. And Bill and Ted #1 is my second favorite movie of all time now, right behind Sgt. Pepper.
Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
Because Sgt. Pepper's a good movie, and everybody knows Sgt. Pepper is my favorite movie of all time, but that one 2 inches behind Sgt. Pepper because it's literally such a good movie. But Wayne's World, where do we even begin? See, a couple years ago, I seen the movie Wayne's World for the first time, and I said I really wish I saw Bill and Ted before I seen Wayne's World. Otherwise, I wouldn't have refrained from watching Bill and Ted for so long, because when I seen Wayne's World, I was like, what level of hideousness and trash? Because I just tried to rewatch Wayne's World, because I never saw Wayne's World Part 2 because the first one was so hideous. But I just tried to watch Part 1 and 2 again for the purpose of this video, and I literally skipped half the whole movie and the second one, because how can you watch Wayne's World? It is the worst movie in history. Oh my god, it's mind-boggling. It's like why I avoided watching Sgt. Pepper for so long, because I've seen Tommy before I seen Sgt. Pepper, and I was like, good god, this is hideous. So that's what took me so long to watch Sgt. Pepper. But when I saw Sgt. Pepper, I was like, oh my god, this is a beautiful movie. Why did I take so long to watch this? And it's the same with Bill and Ted, because firstly, when you come into Wayne's World, if you've seen Bill and Ted before you've seen Wayne's World, you'll see. Tell me why they stole every single thing from Bill and Ted, but just made it worse.
Excellent! Excellent! Party on, dudes! Party on, Wayne! Party on, Garth! Those are historical babes. She's a babe! Not bad. No.
Like, oh my god, this movie is hideous. It's the same reason I didn't like any Jim Carrey movies. And only when I started watching Jerry Lewis movies did I realize that's why I didn't like Jim Carrey movies. He stole all of the stuff from Jerry Lewis, and I was just like, do people not think and be like, hey, I seen that somewhere before? They stole it from somebody. It's hideous on so many levels. It really is. But whatever, let's get into why Bill and Ted is better than Wayne's World. Firstly, basically just how they are. They're 2 friends, because you see in Wayne's World we have Wayne, Garth, and then the rest of their friends. And it's just like, why? Because, I don't know. Something about it just doesn't work in Wayne's World. It's just hideous. And the only friend they have that's actually halfway decent is Phil. He's their only decent friend, because the rest of them I'm just like, but why is this movie so stupid?
Okay, that's all the time we have for this week. Until then, good night. Party on, Wayne. Party on.
But see, in Bill and Ted, we obviously have just Bill and Ted, and they're 2 best friends, and they actually have a purpose, you see. In Wayne's World, they have no purpose. What is your purpose? Like in Bill and Ted, first they're trying to get good at playing the guitar, and then they go to school, and obviously they have to do a report on history, so they have to go back in time, this and this and this. In Wayne's World, they're just some hobos driving around town for 47 hours until some man be's like, hey, they have a show, but their show is hideous. So why on earth? But apparently people's brains are stupid enough, because they were on TV in real life, so obviously somebody was stupid enough to watch this show and think it was actually good, because I'm like... And then another thing is obviously the music. Bill and Ted is way better music-wise. I mean, the songs they picked are better. Obviously, Wayne's World has Alice Cooper and Aerosmith, which are the only reasons I watched Wayne's World in the first place. A couple years ago, the only reason I watched Wayne's World was to see the part with Alice Cooper. But Bill and Ted has so much good songs in it, and nobody actually sings in Bill and Ted, which is another good thing. None of them Bill or Ted, they don't sing. That's a good thing about the movie. And in Wayne's World, his girlfriend sings, and I'm like, but she can't sing. Her singing is so hideous. It's just the worst movie ever, oh my god. And then on top of that, another thing is, their girlfriends. In Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, we're going to put their girlfriends on the same level because both of their girlfriends are equally annoying. Because, see, it's the accent. Their fake accents kill me. Because in Bill and Ted, you know their girlfriends are supposed to be from England.
You're the ones we saw in front of the castle.
But they obviously just got some Americans to try their hardest at a fake British accent. And I'm like... And in Bill and Ted, not Bill and Ted, in Wayne's World, this is some next level 1990s racism, but whatever. His girlfriend is supposed to be Chinese. I'm like, okay then.
Campbell, that's amazing. You learned how to say I look pretty in Cantonese.
And that's another thing about Wayne's World versus Bill and Ted. Bill and Ted managed to get through the 80s and 90s basically without touching any of the 111 stereotypes that they always have and not being the stereotypical 80s, 90s movies where they say something that's politically incorrect. Even though they do have two parts in each Bill and Ted that people wouldn't accept nowadays, but those parts are actually funny and they actually fit. Unlike Wayne's World where you're just like, but why would you even say that? Like, my thing is, you can tell an offensive joke, but it has to be funny. Like, can you be funny with your joke? That's another thing. Wayne's World is not even actually funny. It's just... And then on top of that, they're too old to be acting like that. It's literally disturbing. Wayne's World is disturbing on so many levels. At least in Bill and Ted, I know they're like 25 or something, but at least they actually look somewhat closer to teenagers, and they look somewhat closer to people that could be potentially going to college in the next year. In Wayne's World, they look like they're 40 and have been living in their mom's basement for 67 years. They never exactly say how old they are, but I'm assuming they're supposed to be like college dropout age. But the problem is, like I said, they look 40, 35, 40. But in Bill and Ted, at least they actually look like some high school seniors that actually have to do their history report. So that's another thing. And see, I thought maybe Wayne's World 2 could save it, but it couldn't because it was just literally just as bad as the first one. And it had a couple things just like Bill and Ted Part 2. There was a couple things in the second Bill and Ted that I could have done without because really. But besides that, it was still just as good as the first one. But Wayne's World, I don't know how they managed to make their movie worse as they went along, but seriously, no. So basically, that's just my salty opinion on Wayne's World and it being a hideous movie. I know I didn't really go deep into my analysis of both of the movies, but that's because how can you? You just have to see to believe and understand why Bill and Ted is just a superior movie. That's another thing I want to talk about. The outfits. The first Bill and Ted, literally, they both have the best outfits in the world. And those, I would wear every single day. Because, hello. Besides the crop top, I wouldn't wear a crop top. Because, I mean, are you serious? Only skanks wear crop tops with their belly button all exposed.
Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
But anyway, just kidding. That is what you call a joke. Just because you expose your belly button doesn't mean you're a skank. I'm just saying. Anyways, in Wayne's World, their outfits, I'm just like, okay. I mean, I know their outfits are supposed to be iconic or whatever, but it's just like, hey then, and it's like, eh. But the second Bill and Ted, their outfits are not as good as their first outfits, but at least their outfits are still decent. And in Wayne's World 2, I don't think they even changed their outfits. I wouldn't remember because, I mean, I skipped half the whole movie and I wasn't really paying attention like I should have because I couldn't. I imagine you would have to turn your brain off to watch Wayne's World and enjoy it because it's the worst movie ever. And part 2 is the worst movie ever. So basically that's just me saying that Bill and Ted is the superior movie. So this video has no point, just like those 2 movies have no purpose. Bill and Ted and Wayne's World, no purpose, just like this video. But so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
24 hours of every day I'd walk on glass just to hear you say